Shake off that St. Patty's Day hangover. We got prize picks to talk about. 12-game NBA slate on this fantastic Friday, and I got 5 picks on this early board. Let's look at it. TGIF. It's Craig Bennett, aka Cash Cake here, back with another NBA prize picks early look. I got 5 of my favorite picks on this early board. Monster 12-game slate here. The NBA decided to leave us with a single game yesterday. That was actual garbage, and we had a bunch of people out. So I hope you enjoyed watching some NCAA basketball, some crazy games. Can't believe Kentucky lost. But just that's college basketball, man. Like, anyone can win. But again, we have some we got some basketball here, NBA. Found 5 picks. I got two of the picks. I've got alternate picks on each one of them they can go with. But again, I found 5 that I do like. And again, hit that like button if you find any of this valuable. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll just keep chugging along, and hopefully you find this information valuable. And again, like I always preach, I'll give you 5 picks this morning. We'll do the main card. I'll give you 5 more picks. Just don't throw these in and play 5-man power plays. I put these out there and put the research behind them so you guys can pick and choose from them. I really say focus on the 2- and 3-man power plays. Find some of your favorite plays. Pull in some of the ones that you like, and that way, you know, it's long-term growth. It's a marathon. So again, if you want to play the 5 plays, you know, we've went 9-0 and 10-0 a few times, but it's really hard to hit every play. I just want to stress that that I go in the analysis on these things so you guys can pick out a few plays that you really do like, and then play those 2- and 3-man power plays, because that is the bread and butter of prize picks, in my opinion. And hopefully you guys are playing it that way, because that's where I see a lot of the winners in the comments. And hopefully we can continue to do that. But hey, with that, let's check out the 5 picks we like this morning. All right, as you can see, the Prize Picks desktop version's up here. They have a mobile app you can download as well, both in the Google and Apple store. If you don't have a Prize Picks account, make sure you head on over there and use that promo code DFSArmy and get 100% instant deposit match up to $100. The link is in the description below. All right, we're going to go over this a little bit. Again, 12-game slate. We do have quite a few picks up here early. Went through and found 5 of my favorite. The first one and the last one, we'll talk about alternate plays that I like on both of them. So I guess we got 7 plays, but five guys that we'll talk about. First one we're going to talk about, we're going to go over to assist, and we're going to pull up the guy that we've played a lot this year that's been really profitable for us. And we're going to go Dejounte Murray here. Dejounte Murray, you know, going up against the Pelicans. The Pelicans, you know, have some injuries themselves. No Brandon Ingram again today. Devontae Graham is questionable, and Jose Alvarado is questionable as well. So they're really hurting on point guard. CJ McCollum would have to do everything. And on the Spurs side, again, just no Bates Diop or Langford. So they're getting pretty healthy here. The juice is on the over here out there, around -121, -125. He's played the Pelicans once or twice this year and put up 10 and 12 assists on December 12th and February 12th. The Pelicans ranked 13th in assists allowed and 29th in point guard defense. So great matchup for Murray here. We got Spurs favored by 3.5 with a 237 total, which is fantastic. Nice total like that. And he usually excels in these games right here. So I do like this over. Again, the one he struggled in was, you know, going up against Utah there, which wasn't the best matchup when they're at full strength. But we like the over here. And there's another one I want to talk about with him. And then I'll talk about kind of a system play that I always love to play for him. You know, we can come over here to rebounds with Dejounte Murray as well. His rebound very similar, and actually, you know, over 7.5. He's went over this prop 7 of the last 10 times. The juice is on the over as well at -115, and he's had 12 and 7 rebounds in the 2 games that he's playing. I'm going with the assist personally, but I wanted to mention this as well. You know, it's one that he tends to hit pretty often. If you go back and look at, you know, 9, 4, 9, 9, 10, 9, 12, and then 3 in Memphis, and then 13 against Washington. So he likes to get these rebounds and assists. And there's a lot of props out there that I always look at every morning, every time he's on the board. And it's almost like I said, it's almost like a system play. So if you're out there playing one of the books, I always go to the assist and rebound prop. And that's one of my favorites to look at because I don't think it gets enough attention. So we always go out there and look at it. And if I can find the assist and rebound prop for 16.5 for Dejounte Murray, I will hammer it. And if it's 17.5, I will play that as well. I won't play it higher than that, but it's something to mention that if it's 17.5, if 16.5 or 17.5, I'm going to play it every night. I think it's at even money right now at the 17.5 over at DraftKings Sportsbook. But one thing I did want to mention, it's definitely one of my favorite plays for him, just because of how much he does. And the 17.5, if he has a night where he puts up 9 rebounds and he only has to get 9 assists. If you don't hit your assist number, you still get 18, right? So that's one way you can kind of hedge if you're playing both of them. If you want to play the rebound prop here and then the rebound assist on a book or vice versa. So yeah, I like both of them. You can kind of choose the one that you want there. The Pelicans are ranked 3rd in rebounds allowed. So maybe it's not the best matchup there, but he did put up 12 rebounds on December 12th, and then on February 12th, he only put up 7. So maybe you want to look at the assists more, but I did want to mention that on him. And it's one of my favorite plays that I do like is that assist and rebound prop is one of my favorite out there in some of the books. So we're going to go over assist here in the 5 that I'll put up here, but just wanted to mention that. The next play we're going to look at here is still in the assist range, and we're going to come down here, and we're actually going to go Zach LaVine. He is probable to play this game going up here against Phoenix. Phoenix is still without Cam Johnson, and Jay Crowder was questionable. He was out last game. But again, the Bulls should be, closer to full strength. Yes, they don't have Patrick Williams, but with all their studs, they're back to full strength. But yeah, he had some left knee soreness, but he is probable this game. And if we just look at what he's done, I mean, it's pretty impressive with assist wise. The juice is massive on this over in the books. -140 to -150 for this out in some of the books. Yes, Phoenix is ranked 2nd in assists allowed. But again, a lot of that has to do, with Chris Paul playing, with all these guys playing. And, with Chris Paul out, that's just massive, Cam Johnson and Jay Crowder. If Jay Crowder sits as well, it's just like the team is just not as good. Now Phoenix is favored by 6 still with a 230 over under, which again, don't get me wrong, they're still a good team, but they are way better when they have their full strength. If we look at Zach LaVine and what he's done here in assist, he's went over this prop 8 out of his last 10 games. He's went over this. If you look at the games he played Phoenix, he played them back on February 7th, and he put up 8 assists. So it's just the ball's moving around really well. You love to see it, and just where the juice is at in this. And again, I'm not looking at the matchup numbers as much. Like again, he put up 8 assists against them earlier this year, and 8 over the last 10 is pretty impressive. That I think we got to go with there. I mean, even if we go back and look at the last 30 games, he's hit it at a 73% clip at 22 out of 30. So this number is just too low. It probably should be closer to 4.5 to 5. And I think we're getting some value here that we want to take advantage of on Zach LaVine's over. The next one we're going to go is still assist. I think there's still more value here. And we're going to go, excuse me, I was looking at De'Aaron Fox a little bit, but going up against Boston, it is kind of tough, but he did put up 11 against Utah. I wanted to mention this because I was on the border with Fox, and I was on the border with Reggie Jackson. I'm going Reggie Jackson, but this Fox number is low as well. So I wanted to mention that if you wanted to take a shot at that, I believe that number is too low for Fox. But we're going to go over to Reggie Jackson here in this matchup against Utah. Utah is banged up. There's no Donovan Mitchell. There's no Bojan Bogdanovic. Daniel House is out as well. And then Trent Forrest is questionable. So they're kind of banged up. But however, they're still 6.5 point favorites, 218.5 over under. The juice is heavy on this over at -130, -135 on the books out there. He's won over 8 out of 10 games. He's played Utah back on December 15th where he put up 9 assists against them. But the numbers have been massive. 9. The ones he did miss, 5 against Atlanta, then 7, 4 against the Knicks, and then 9, 6, 6, 6. So he's just playing really well, and the minutes have been there. He's averaging 36 minutes over his last 5 games, and the way they're kind of playing, he's just constantly hitting this. So we're gonna go Reggie Jackson over and assist. Like I said, if you want to take a shot at De'Aaron Fox here, going up against Boston, it's not the best matchup in the world, but the 5 number just feels way too low for what they've been doing. Even going up against Boston. Like I said, Boston is ranked they are up top 10 against assists. So it's again, if you want to take a shot at De'Aaron Fox, I completely understand. I'm just going to go more Reggie Jackson in this situation with how banged up Utah is. They basically just got Mike Conley and Clarkson on that side, so they're going to have to use more of the offensive side of the ball, and I think Reggie Jackson is just going to continue to put up those good numbers. So again, if you want an alternative to Reggie Jackson, it is De'Aaron Fox. The next one here on rebounds is kind of different. I wouldn't really expect this. Like I bet it earlier in the year, but I think I'm going to go back to this, even though it's a little bit higher, because he's still just pulling them out. We're going Alec Burks. We're going over 5.5 rebounds here. The juice is on the overs here as well, like minus 135 out there in the books. Washington is ranked 19th in rebounds allowed. The 14th against point guard defense. He's went over this number 8 out of his last 10 games. He's played Washington once this year, back on December 23rd. We put up 7 rebounds. And I think it's just a good matchup against Washington that they should continue to, as long as Derrick Rose is still out, Grimes is still questionable. He's going to be out there quite a bit. If we look at the minutes he's playing, he put up 36 minutes against Washington is the one time he's played, and before that he's played 35, 38, 35 minutes. In Portland here, he only played 27 minutes and still put up 6 rebounds. So the rebounds are definitely there for him. He definitely crashes the boards. He always has. That number used to be like 3.5 back in the day, and you could just absolutely smash it. But he's averaged 35 minutes over his last 5 games. I think it's going to continue. And again, it's not one that you'd normally think of. His assist prop is just not up on the board. Otherwise, I would smash it, because I think the assist prop for him is like 3.5, and the juice is like minus 145, minus 150 on that. But he's hit that assist prop in 7 of his last 10 games. So it's one of those things where we just don't have it on the Prizepicks board, and it's juiced up high. But man, he's smashing that assist prop. And I would probably look at taking it here against Washington. But for Prizepicks purposes on the board, we're going to take the over Alec Burks 5.5 rebounds here. And the last one we're going to talk about, again, it's one I talked about that we got same player, but 2 different ways you can approach this. So I want to mention him. We're going to come down here to Boston. I know some people don't like calling him this, but I don't care. I enjoy calling him this. Robert Williams, the old Time Lord. We're going to go over 9.5 points with him. Going up against a very inept Sacramento defense. They're ranked 29th in points allowed, 29 in field goal percentage allowed, 26 against defense. He's played Sacramento once this year, putting up 13 points. The line is actually 10.5 in most books out there. So we're getting a full point lower than most books have the line at. And even at 10.5, that juice is around minus 125, minus 130 out there. So at this 9.5 number, he's went over this in 8 of his last 10 games. And it's a fantastic spot for him, especially if he doesn't get in foul trouble, and he goes out there and puts up, a good game where he's getting his 35 minutes a game, and it's a close game. Sacramento is 9.5 point dogs and 224.5 over under, but they just don't have nobody up to match up against him size wise. So I really do, I really do like this one. And the other one I mentioned, if you don't want to take the full, even though I prefer the full game 9.5 points, but I also understand if you think maybe it gets out of control a little bit, come over here and grab some of these first half plays. I think it's at lines at 4.5 here for points for Robert Williams. I like this one at 4.5 points as well. So if you want to take the 9.5 full game or the 4.5 points half game, I like both. So it's one of those things where, just make that decision. I think I'm going to take the 9.5 just because we're getting a full point. But I completely understand if you want to take, the 4.5 for the first half as well. Some of these guys, you got to look at the first half totals, especially if you think maybe it's going to be a blowout and he's going to get there. I do like looking at it, but that one kind of stood out to me with Time Lord over 4.5 points for the first half that we can look at. So that's what we got on tap today. So we got Dejounte Murray over 9.5 assists, Zach LaVine over 3.5 assists, Reggie Jackson over 5.5 assists, Alec Burks over 5.5 rebounds, and Time Lord over 9.5 points. On this early slate, I don't really have a massive lean to rank these. I will rank them when I have I feel super confident about a couple that I want up top. I like them all. I just don't have one that I'm like, this is a shoe and I absolutely love it. So I'm just mentioning that. I don't rank them at all times, but when I do have that, confidence, super confidence in a few of those picks, I will tell you which ones those are that I'll try to mix and match. But yeah, I kind of like all these, and we'll put up a main video later today around lunchtime, and once we get a few more things on the board. But yeah, good luck today. Enjoy your Friday, and enjoy that second day of the NCAA tournament during the day, and massive 12-game slate today for NBA. So I'll see you guys on the flip side. Deuces.